Right, today is a Deepavali holiday. So today is Sunday, so tomorrow is a holiday. So we have this sense of it being a holy day, okay? So it's a very good day to study suttas. So we'll look at Sutta 9 now, from volume 48, ST 48.9, the Pabajita Abhinha Sutta, the discourse on what a renunciant Pabajita should do constantly, Abhinha. A 10.48. This is a beautiful sutta reminding the monk, the renunciant, what they should do, and also reminds us of the beauty of being a renunciant, and we also can, to some degree, follow this kind of lifestyle. The theme here is the 10 regular practices of a renunciant. Okay. Now we all know that to someone who has become a monk, they take vows to give up worldliness. They don't really give up the world in the sense that they are still in the world. Their parents are still their parents, brothers are still their brothers, sisters are still their sisters, and so on. Except that now, because they have renounced worldliness, because they have given up specific family ties, so to speak, or another way of putting it is they have not really given up family ties in the sense of mother is still mother and so on, but they have broadened the idea of family. The family is no more biological. The family is no more just a small group of people, but it is anyone that they meet. You can, for example, go up to a monk or a nun who is mature enough, with experience. You can talk to them, ask them questions, even ask for some kind of counseling. Then they will help you according to their wisdom. Okay. So this sutta is beautiful in the sense that Buddha is reminding the renunciant, the monks and the nuns. So if you are a monk or a nun, even a novice, this sutta is very important. You should read this regularly to put you on track so that you don't get lost in the world today, because it's harder to be monks and nuns today. There's so many distractions. You may not go into the world, but not the world will come to you. So if you turn on the internet, there you are. You go out, the world is in your room. So you can easily be lost in the world when you turn on the internet. Okay? So we have to be very careful there. And these are the reminders. Page 190, 190. Pabajita Abhinha Sutta, the discourse on what a renunciant should do constantly. A 10.48. There are these 10 things, bhikshus, that should be constantly reviewed by a renunciant, right? Reviewed, examined, especially at the end of the day. Have I done these things, 1 to 10? At night you reflect. In the evening you reflect. It's called evening reflection. You reflect back. How did my day go? Did I keep all these 10 points? Then in the morning you remind yourself, let me be mindful of these 10 points. Okay, the first one in Pali is Vevaniyam hi ajupagato. A renunciant should constantly reflect thus: I've taken up a classless life, or a life of classlessness. Okay, Vevanna. Vanna is class. What do you call that? Caste and so on. Vevanna means away from this. As you know, in Buddha's time, the Brahmins introduced this. The Brahmins were using this caste system. You got the Kshatriya at the top, then the Brahmins, the priests, and then the Shudras, the Vaisyas, rather, the merchant class, and then the working class. They're supposed to serve the upper class and so on. But in the Buddhist time, the Brahmins were not so powerful in Central Gangetic Plain. The Kshatriyas were grouping up and they were very strong. So They were kind of pushing the Brahmins to one side, right? So that's why normally we mention the Kshatriyas first in this case. So here the monks are reminded they are a classless community. So this reminds us of the parable of the great ocean, right? Where in the Vinaya there is the parable of the great ocean, and then in the Samyutta also there's a similar sutta where it is said the great rivers of India all flow into the ocean, right? Before they flow into the ocean, they have different names: Ganges, Yamuna, Acharavati, and so on. But when they flow into the great ocean, they lose their names. They're simply called the great ocean. So also when the members of the 4 classes, including the 5th shadow class, the outcasts, all of them, all these 5 classes, when they become monks, they are normal. There's normal class. They are known as Renunciant, son of the Sakyas. So here we see the Buddha actually like a social activist. He accepts everyone as a classless community, right? But sadly, we forget this, right? So in Sri Lanka, for the last few hundred years, you find you have various groups. They're ordained according to castes, right? For example, you have the highest caste called the Siam Nikaya. They only ordain those from the Goigama class, from the rich upper class. So only if you're that class, you can join this group. So the other groups, they go to Myanmar, they get ordained. So they start another one called the Amarapura Nikaya. So they come from Amarapura in Myanmar. Another one starts another group called the Ramanya Nikaya. So there's this three main Nikayas according to caste. Of course, today if you meet these modern Sinhala monks, they'll tell you, oh, we don't have all these things anymore. Hopefully that's true, but if you look at the way their temples are run today, especially the big temples, the temples are still handed down from uncle to nephew. Even in Kuala Lumpur, the big temple, the uncle dies, nephew takes over. Because of the property, they want to keep the property within the family, within the caste. So these are very wrong, worldly things still in practice against the Buddha's advice, which need to be corrected. It can be difficult, but it needs to be corrected if you really want to use the word Buddhist, or Buddha Dhamma, and so on. So in many ways you can say Buddhism in Sri Lanka is so much problems, not to mention the politics, right? And the concerned lay Buddhists themselves know this. The lay Buddhists are serious practitioners, they know these are difficult things, many of them feel helpless. So the best way is for you to practice the Dhamma. When you practice the Dhamma, you're calm, your mind is clear, you know what the Buddha teaches, and slowly you build up this wonderful energy, and things will change in the future for the better. So remember, the Sangha is a classless community. Number 2, a renunciant should constantly reflect thus: I am one who lives dependent on others. Para patibaddha me jivikati. Alright? Para means others. Patibaddha is something like I'm tied up to others, I'm dependent on others. Okay, jivika, earning a living. By definition, a monk or nun has renounced the world, and he's totally without any economic security. So for a monk or nun to say, I need to be secure, is a contradiction in terms. That's the whole idea. The Buddha started the Sangha for that reason. When someone wanted to give the Buddha, challenge the Buddha, says, how can I can't support you because you have not done anything, I'm a farmer, what work do you do? You should work for a living, right? So this was a challenge, the Kasibara Dwaja Sutta. Then the Buddha talks of the Dhamma, how he practices. And he's like a farmer, this is his job, okay? To bring inner peace and so on. And this Bharadwaja is very impressed at the Buddha's teaching. Then he tells the Buddha, okay, I think you are worthy of this offering. I want to give you some food. Then the Buddha says, no, I can't take your food because your idea is you're giving me this because I've given you a teaching, right? So that's not the way. I'm not a wage earner, declares the Buddha. So this is very important because today many monks, actually career monks, they are wage earners. You find they travel the world, they come to Southeast Asia, they look for rich sponsors, and then they go for university studies, and then get a job in a university giving lectures and then earning monthly wages. The Buddha says, no, I'm not a wage earner, right? So the Buddha says, I cannot accept your gift. The Buddha refused to accept even this dana given by this Bharadwaja, because it is like an exchange, that you're paying for the Dhamma. Giving dana is given out of faith, out of joy, in other words. We are Buddhists and we want to support others who are doing Dhamma work. So that's why we give, out of faith. That's the meaning. So in this sense, the renunciant is dependent on others. So if they do not behave properly, they're unwholesome in their conduct, then the lay people will not support them. So you have this kind of almost like a social contract, in other words. It's the proper conduct of the monastics that legitimizes the support of the laity. So this is very important, all right, in this sense. Number 3, a renunciant should constantly reflect thus: my deportment should differ from that of others. Anyo me akapo karaneo. Okay, I am different from the lay people. Right? You can see how different are the monks and nuns. They shave off their hair. They dress simple. Right. So if a monk keeps his hair long and he's no different from a lay person, or he dresses himself up to look like a layman, then again there's no difference. Right. So here, the idea is to remind the monastic that I am a renunciant. What does a renunciant do, right? A renunciant practices the three trainings to attain awakening in this life itself. So these are all reminders. The Buddha is reminding the renunciant, you should conduct yourself differently from the lay people. Number 5. No, is it 4? A renunciant should constantly reflect thus: do I reproach myself regarding moral conduct? Self-counseling, right? Do I scold myself if I do something wrong? Kachinuko me atta silato na upawadati. Okay? So here is self-counseling, in other words. So this is very important. You ask yourself, how did I do today? All right? Just like the previous sutta on the Kuttagara Suttas. So even as lay people, we can do that, right? Maybe like today is a good day, weekend, or full moon, new moon day, very peaceful. We're at home all by ourselves. We reflect, okay, how did my week go? Or at the end of the year, how did my year go? Have I been messing myself up? Is my mind not calm? If that's the case, why? So first you identify the problem, then what are the conditions that led to it? And then tell yourself, how can I deal with this? All right, so I should stop going up to Genting Highlands from now on, and be more calm, go for meditation retreats, things like that. Yeah? So we examine ourselves and we conduct ourselves accordingly. So self-reproach, okay, self-counseling is very important. So these are something a monastic should do and a lay person can do too. Number 5, a renunciant should constantly reflect thus: do my wise fellow brahmacharis who are discerning reproach me regarding moral conduct, right? So do my brothers and sisters in the brothers or sisters in the Sangha also advise me, right? So this where it's wonderful to get other wiser, concerned co-religionists reminding us. Right? Now, Sariputta was known for his great humility, by the way. Although he's known for wisdom, you find that there is a very beautiful story one day. This novice came up to Sariputta and then told him, it says, Venerable Sir, your robe is uneven. Okay? The lower robe, the sarong is uneven. Okay? I mean, it's just a minor thing. You see, the robe kind of hangs out a little lower. So, now what does Sariputta say? He said, oh, thank you, my observant young novice, so I will arrange accordingly, right? So he doesn't get angry. Like, in fact, he's thankful to this person pointing out, because the novice knows the rules, that a monk should wear his sarong evenly, you see, and so on. So the meaning here is that lay people, anyone can, in a sense, fairly, with a good mind, tell the monk what's wrong, that he should not practice certain things at the right time. So there you are. Here is the teaching. Do my wise fellow brahmacharis reproach me? Kachi nukomang anu vicha vinyu sabrahmachari silato na upawadanti. Okay, so this is in the plural. No? Number 6. A renunciant should constantly reflect thus. There is a becoming other of all that are dear and pleasing to me, a separating from them. Sabbehi me piyehi manapehi nana bhavo vina bhavo ti. Right? So this is a reminder of impermanence. This is the reason why this is put in this volume about death. That even a renunciant should remind himself that the things, the teachers he value, even his family, they too will pass away. So be prepared for that. Becoming other, people can change. So this is a reflection of impermanence, on change. Number 7. Number 7 is about karma. Okay, it's a reflection on karma, a very famous reflection. A renunciant should constantly reflect thus. I am the owner of my deeds, my karma. Karma sakomhi. Okay? Karma sakomhi. Karma and then saka. Saka means owner. Amhi, I am. Okay? The heir of my deeds. Karma dayado. Dayada means heir. Right? We will inherit our karma. Our karma comes back to us. The womb of my deeds, karma yoni, right? This karma arises within me, within my own mind, in other words. The relative of my deeds, karma bandhu, right? It follows me around. Okay? The deeds, my deeds are my refuge. Karma patisarana. Okay? Only my deeds, my own good deeds will protect me. Nothing else. No one can protect me. Whatever I do, good or bad, I'll be its heir. Right? It will come back to me. Okay. Yang kamang karisami kalyanang wa papakang wa tassa dayado bhavisamiti. Right? So my karma will come back to me. So here again is a reminder for the monastic to be accountable to his actions, right? So we should not say, "Oh, he's a monk, so we got to respect him just because he's a monk." That's not the reason. Okay, the monk should respect himself by understanding the teaching, by understanding the nature of karma. Okay. Number 8, a renunciant should constantly reflect thus. How am I passing my nights and my days? Now in Pali we say nights and days. In English we say days and night. Okay, you can reverse it if you like. There's nothing wrong there. Katang bhutasame ratindiva viti watantiti. Okay, how do I spend my day and night? Do I spend hours on the internet? Nowadays, monks have so much time and they can get lost on the internet. Okay? Or am I socializing, meeting people, and so on, right? So we should be meditating, studying sutta, especially the first 5 years. I mean, if you mess up your first 5 years, then you'll be a rotten monk, rotten nun in time to come. You won't have that strength to face the world, basically. The first 5 years are very essential. It makes you a monk or a nun, especially with a good teacher, with a proper environment. So remember, your first 5 years, the nisaya, are essential and vital, right? So then during those first 5 years, you spend your days and night meditating, studying suttas, learning the Dhamma in Vinaya. So how do I spend my nights and days? It should be with the Dhamma. Okay? Number 9, a renunciant should constantly reflect thus: do I delight in empty places? Empty places here is a synecdoche, short form for a quiet place conducive to meditation. Do I go to a quiet place for meditation? It also points to solitude. In other words, a monk spends time with himself, contemplating, studying. The opposite of this would be socializing, going here, going there, meeting VIPs, and so on. Yeah. So, delighting in empty places. All right? And the last one is really important. A renunciant should constantly reflect thus: have I realized any superhuman states? Uttari manusa dhamma. Have I realized any superhuman state? This is a term meaning levels of experience which is above the normal daily life. Okay? In meditation, it refers to the attainment of jhanas, especially for the monks and nuns, renunciants. On a higher level, it refers to the attainment of the path, that is stream winning outwards. So here you can see the aim of being a renunciant, a monk or a nun, is to at least attain good levels of meditation in this life, if not to attain at least stream winning in this life itself. Okay, so there's no talk about, it's so difficult to be an arahant in this life. Real monks and nuns do not talk like that. Okay? Because you can at least work for stream winning, which is not difficult. And let me stress here, you don't need jhanas for stream winning. Nowhere in the suttas is it mentioned that you need jhanas. Okay? So, have I realized any superhuman states? Ati nukho me uttari manusa dhammo. The distinction of knowledge and vision, worthy of the noble ones, okay? So that in my last days, when asked by fellow brahmacharis, by other monks and nuns, I will not be embarrassed. Alamariya jnana dasana visesa adigato yenahang pachime kale sabrahmacharihi putto na manku bhavi samiti. Okay? So there you are. The purpose of being a renunciant is to make sure you attain some level of mental peace and insight in this life itself. So before passing away, maybe your brothers and sisters in the Dhamma will ask you, have you attained any level? Right? Monks and nuns, they can discuss these things. And then you can say, yes, I've attained this level. I've at least got deep jhana or something like that. So you should try at least to attain those levels as a monk, as a nun. These pictures are the 10 things that should be constantly reviewed by a renunciant. These are the gold standards of early Buddhism, in other words. So there's no talk about modernizing, changing the rules, or flouting the rules, because the monks and nuns, they represent the quality of spiritual life from the Buddha's time. It is the way out of this world. It's the other side. It's the opposite of the world. It gives hope to the world, an alternative. Right? So when you feel like giving up worldly life. Say, wow, this monastic life is very peaceful, right? Otherwise, you find people who have worked in the world. They can be movie actors, they can be managers, or any kind of busy, powerful people in the world. Then they decide, I've got enough of this world, I have to become a monk or a nun. They renounce the world. Let me go to a very famous temple. And then they go to this famous temple, they get ordained. After a while, they found, oh dear, life in these temples is worse. It's just like, they're just as busy or more busy, and they're hiding things, pretending to be what they are not. So this man becomes even more disillusioned. Can you imagine what will happen to him if he tries to get out of the world and to renounce, and he finds that the monastics themselves are very worldly? They'll be very sad, isn't it? So it's very important to seek the right kind of place for renouncing, for living the spiritual life. And these are the 10 points of quality. How can we keep our lives true to the Buddha's instructions? The Pabhajita Abhinha Sutta tells us that. A 10.48. Okay, any questions or feedback? Yes.
It's in the first line. Buddha spoke to where he was.
But if you turn to the Anguttara collection, then you follow the sutta from 105, 104, 103. You go backwards. You find at the start of the chapter, the place is mentioned. All right.
Was this in Vaishali or Savatthi?
This is probably Savatthi, I think. The Buddha's area of movement is quite well known. So it's around the Central Gangetic Plain. So from we can know more or less where the teachings come from. Yeah? Yes.
It was mentioned if you are free from great illusion, you will be reborn happy, most likely. Would you say that illusion is the other one to let go? Because greed and hate is quite.
Oh yes.
Because we ourselves don't even know
Yeah.
illusion.
Yes.
So,
delusion is the most difficult one. The easiest to overcome is hatred, anger. Yeah? You notice when you get angry, you say, I'm angry. The moment you accept the fact you're angry, you find it's half gone. Right? It's just like when someone's angry, you say, you're angry, right? And this person will say, okay, I'm angry. No, I'm not angry. You see? Right? Unless the person denies it, say, no, I'm not angry, you're still angry. You see? Right? So anger is the easiest to overcome. The second one is a little bit more difficult, is craving. Craving is a bit more difficult to overcome. You can even know you have it, but still you say, no, I still want it, you see. The third one, you don't even know you have it. You say, no, I'm right, and you don't see it. So that's the most difficult one to overcome. So this is the hierarchy. You see. However, there is a rule of thumb, a simple teaching the Buddha gave us. If you constantly reflect on impermanence and tell yourself all this is impermanent, that's one safety guard. Very simple safety guard you can have. No need to learn big teachings and Abhidhamma, all this thing. This basic teaching, everything is impermanent. Keep on that level. Keep it simple. You'll be safe in that sense. Okay? But mindfulness is important, of course. You have to, accept what you say is true. Okay? That's why the keeping to the suttas is important. Otherwise you have doubts. You say, no, I wonder, you know. So, no more questions, huh? Now we're going to do a bit of dedication of merit to for Caroline's late father also. Huh? Okay, today we have studied a number of suttas. It's a very wonderful opportunity to understand the Buddha's teaching. It helps us understand the centrality of the mind. When the mind is wholesome, happy, we are at peace with ourselves. And this is the time also when we can use all these wonderful happy energies for our well-being. May we be well and happy. May our family be well and happy too. May we be at peace with ourselves. May we grow in wisdom. In this life itself, may we at least have the courage and wisdom to aspire to attain stream winning in this life itself. And also, may those who are practicing the Dhamma practicing it rightly, may they too taste the fruit of the path in this life itself. And for this important moment, let us send our happy thoughts for the well-being of the late Mr. Liu Hock An, Destry, who passed away on the 1st of September this year, that wherever is reborn, may he be well and happy. And also may his family be strong and happy together to continue to do good in this life itself. And may those also who are lost and having difficulty in the teachings to see that the Buddha's teaching and return to the true path in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.